Hey gang, this is Andy over at Falco Canine Academy. We're here with another episode of Falco Canine's Dog Talk. Pretty exciting, aren't you? This is way better than today's show.
Okay.
But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about our peanut detection dog. But I want to welcome all of you guys that have come to our website for the first time because you saw us on Showdown of the Unbeatables. That's pretty awesome, huh? Yeah. Can we tell them what, by the time they see this, I think it may have aired.
What if it hasn't?
Oh. So I can't tell you how we did, but we're all smiling.
Yeah.
And we were really happy with the performance. We filmed for 2 days on that show. And the reason they're here with me because they own Lola, the peanut dog. I didn't introduce them yet. But Lola did a number of searches on one particular filming day where she did some things that we didn't even do in training. We searched the interior of cars. We searched a warehouse where they had Reese's peanut butter cups and M&Ms. I'm not sure how much they're going to show on the show itself, on Showdown of the Unbeatables. But we did about, I think, 9 hours of work. And she must have done
at least
about 30 searches. So you may only see a portion of what we did, and she just performed magically, way better than even I expected her. And we'll talk about why I thought that a little bit later on. But right here we have Kim Hollinger and her daughter Kendall, who is a world famous figure skater. You just don't know it yet, and a world famous singer apparently. But you have food allergies. Can you explain something of, what they need to know about your food allergies?
Yeah, so I'm allergic to 95% of all food, so I can go into anaphylactic shock just from breathing, touching, or smelling any kind of peanut or nut residue that's in the air or around me. So I need a peanut detection dog to tell me if there's nuts on like a surface or something I'm around. Otherwise, I could touch it and almost die, like I have almost 7 or 8 times now. So
wow.
It's pretty scary, but it's definitely eased a lot of the anxiety having a peanut dog.
Wow. What's it like to be a mother of a child who has that type of allergy reaction?
Terrifying sometimes, but you just have to manage it. You have to be prepared at all times and ready for it.
I guess with any type of child issue where it takes you out of like just the norm, is that okay to say?
Yes. There's nothing normal about it.
Yeah, because I would say it's I wanted to say it was abnormal, but that's a really bad word. But I mean, your day is every day full of just danger.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
And so having the dog has kind of helped.
It is. It's an extra set of, I want to say eyes and nose and everything. I can let my guard down a little bit, and knowing that she'll be going with Kendall when I'm not around, it's just an insurance policy.
So in your thought process to get a dog, where does that come? Where does it come from that you think, hey, we can train a dog to do this? Or did you see somebody else with a dog? How did you come up with this idea?
I was approached with it about 7 years ago, and I really wanted her to have one. And she was really against having one, saying, I'm already the girl with the food allergies and the feeding tube. I don't want to be the girl with the dog, too. And I had to respect that, but I really wanted her to have one because I'd seen other kids on Good Morning America, actually. I saw some kids with one, and it was quite incredible what these dogs could do for them. But they were a little bit different in the sense that those dogs were always working, and I didn't want that. I didn't want a dog that was just an employee. I wanted a family pet also, as well as somebody who was going to protect her, or a dog. So when Lola came around, she changed her mind because she wanted to keep Lola. And so that's when we brought Lola to you.
Okay, so let's then touch on a little bit of the story of Lola, where she came from and how she ended up in your house.
Lola was a rescue. She was going to be put down at 2 weeks old. And so I answered a 911 call from a rescue group thinking, how hard could it be? So we bottle fed her and kept her alive and fell in love with her. And I failed at fostering. So we kept her, and we decided that if she could be trained, that's what we were going to do. Kendall was willing to pay all the money and everything because she believed in Lola. I was a little like, I don't know, but she's believed in her all along.
Why did you believe in her so much?
I don't know, it sounds crazy, but something about Lola, I knew, we just kind of had a special bond, and she was just as crazy as it sounds, like my little best friend. And like I just knew, like, okay, if I was gonna deal with having a dog all the time, every second of my life, like I would want it to be Lola. And so if that was possible to have her trained, I knew that there wouldn't be a better dog, because also I have allergic reactions to most animals. And oddly enough, I don't react to Lola. I don't get itchy, or I don't have hives. I don't start sniffling like crazy, because normally I'll have like an outdoor allergy effect to like dogs and cats. But for whatever reason, Lola did not have that effect. So I was like, I could do this. Like, I could have Lola all the time. Little did I know it was a long journey to like get there. And it's still hard every day. Like, every dog owner or dog trainer has like their little hiccups along the way. But like, I definitely am glad that I stuck with Lola and just kept believing in her.
All right, we'll get to more of that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like what you said in the beginning, something about Lola. That sounds like a book title.
I think it should be. The journey we've had. I think
It'll be
you've
like
got an idea
the
there.
Tales of Two Cities. It'll
Yes.
be a large book. So, okay, so we have Lola. You had started with another trainer to start with that, for whatever reason, didn't work out, and so you sought out a secondary trainer.
Yes.
But during that process, I think, and then since the time you've been with us, you've probably found out how crazy the dog world is. Some of you watching this who are living in the dog world understand hopefully what I'm talking about and aren't taking offense to it. If you are, then you're one of the crazy-eyed dog people that we run into. But there's a lot of issues in the dog world, right? There's a
Yes.
lot of
Yes.
lying, cheating,
Yes,
people
a lot
saying
of
they can
that.
do things that they really can't do.
Yes,
And,
we did run into that, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, kind of disheartening sometimes.
It is. You feel a little bit defeated because you
Yeah.
trust people, and then
Yeah.
it doesn't work out that way.
And that can happen in our own organization here. It's just, we hire certain people, things like that, and things can happen with trainers that I hire. They give me this big, long resume, and then I ask them, hey, can you go work with this dog and train the dog to sit? And they said, well, how would you go about teaching this dog to sit? And I go, wait a minute. You got this big, long resume that said that you know how to teach this dog to sit. But that's the dog world. It's
But
a
so
little bit
far,
tough.
we haven't had that experience here, though.
Well,
It's
that's
been
good.
all good.
That's good. Well, I find them out pretty quickly because, like
Yeah.
I said, I tell somebody, hey, just go make this dog do this, and they get scared and they don't do it. So I know that could be very frustrating
Yes.
to people. We get that story all the time. Some of our best customers are people that have been with other
Oh, yeah, I'm
facilities
sure.
to begin with. So, so then you come to us, you've had this little bit of a hiccup, and you're thinking, does everybody make up stories? And so we sit down. And now I have to come like from a different angle,
Yes.
where you bring me a dog that you selected without any experience in the detection dog world,
Yes.
without any experience in working dogs or service dogs, and you say, we want this dog to be a peanut detection dog. And I hopefully very clearly said that that's not always how it works out. It's much better if I select the dog for you.
Yes.
And the reason being is that I've had 30 years of experience doing this, and even with 30 years, I can still make a mistake. There's still a time where we think this dog's going to work, and then along the training process, it doesn't work. So bringing a dog from somebody's home that has the history of of Lola's being born in a crack house
And being very spoiled.
and being very spoiled,
Very spoiled.
I encourage them, well, no, let me find a dog for you. And Kendall said, no.
That's exactly how it
You're
went.
gonna make Lola work. And I said, well, these are the things we need, and we demonstrated
Yeah.
what she lacked.
I remember that day, yes.
We demonstrated what she lacked, and we train dogs with a toy reward primarily for any kind of detection dog that we train. And food reward isn't my favorite.
No, but it's
And,
Lola's.
Yeah. And so we took this dog who really was not born to be a detection dog.
Yes.
I told you the limitations, and that I told you up front.
You were very honest about it.
Okay,
yes.
that you guys want this to work so badly
Yeah.
that I was afraid you were going to go to somebody else and have
They're gonna take our bunny again?
be taken advantage
Yeah.
of again.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, I'm going to tell you as we go along where we're at and how we're going, that kind of stuff. So we took on the process, and I could tell you that for the most part I was correct. And that's not trying to rub anything in your face or big head, but the process of training Lola took probably 3 times as long as it would any other dog.
I'd go
We
with 5
used
times as long.
maybe 5, but that's when the humans were added.
Yeah, that's because of us. Not him. It's because of us.
So we added time, and again, I'm sorry, I'm going to hit my computer here. It added time to the training process. There were hiccups, and there was progress that just didn't seem like it was progressing. And so those are frustrations, and those are things I don't want my clients to go through.
No.
And so that's the first thing I put in the let us pick the dog for you column, is that if we don't, then it could take way longer than it should.
Mm-hmm.
It should take us about 4 to 6 weeks to train a dog from the time we get it to the time it's finished to be given to the client. And I can tell you, again, I don't think I'm exaggerating saying it took 3 and maybe 5 times as long because we just kept hitting these little roadblocks and getting her going. So we used a clicker and treats. Progress was good when we had it. Other than that, we pretty much had a straight line, and then we'd see some progress. So then all of a sudden we have a breakthrough. I just remember the day like it was yesterday where I set up this scenario, let's see what she's got, and I smeared peanuts on one of these white tables that you see here and took her around the room, and sure enough, Lola goes to the smear on the desk where I had put it, and she sat like she'd been a detection dog all of her life. Craziness. And it went really well. It just was an awesome day. We took video of it, sent you the video, and did some other stuff. And there's a lot of other things that happen in the process of doing this. But she's a peanut detection dog.
Definitely.
And does it more than 50 to 60% of the times. Now, that is really good because that's 50 to 60% of the time that you now have something that you wouldn't have anything normally. All right. So as far as I'm concerned, that's not great. I want a dog that hits about 70 to 90%. Anybody that tells you a dog is 100% is lying, and they're crazy. But I would rather have a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And so we've, again, completely honest, this is not the first time they're hearing this, and the dog works. There's times where she can get distracted.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in the ice rink, where she goes and spends a lot of her time, and so we're working on that.
Yeah.
And I've talked a lot of time, and you've been sitting here shaking your head. How has it been through this process, and would you do anything differently now that you know the things that you know with the dog? And I'll plug her ears.
Yeah. As much as I love Lola, and I do, and I wouldn't ever get rid of Lola, I would have let you pick a dog, definitely. And I tell people that all the time. It has made it very difficult because our love for Lola makes it hard to see her go away, and then force her to be something she's not. I don't think anyone else could have trained Lola. I really don't, because she hasn't been easy at all, and neither have we. We've been difficult because we love her, and we're not used to the dog world. We're not used to working dogs, and so it's been very foreign to us completely. Like the thought of, I wouldn't let her even wear a choke collar or a pinch collar. These are all true. And then finally I realized, this is me. This isn't anything to do with the dog. The dog likes it. The dog actually wants to behave. But I didn't realize that because I had my own preconceived notions of, what it was like to have a big dog. I had no idea.
Well, she has a couple of aggression issues.
Just a little.
Right. So
We're working
that's
on those.
So the dog was overpowering you and both of you,
Yes.
and getting the best of you. And
Yes.
timing needed to be improved. And unfortunately for some dogs, and again, I don't even necessarily think that it's right to say unfortunately. I think fortunately we have a tool that's available, and that is the pinch collar, that allows you to maintain obedience in a dog that doesn't necessarily want to be obedient.
But but the difference is also, I should let people know, she only has to wear that for us. She doesn't wear that for him. Just whatever you tell her to do. And so that's us.
Well, 30 years of experience compared to
True, this is true.
2 years, and it's only been like the last couple months that you've got to that point where you have control, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the process? And I know that you love the dog, and she has done some great things. Again, during the showdown of the Unbeatables, that I should have told you that one of the things that she did is that we went to a chiropractor's office where we had done training like a month before. I can't remember how long now. It's been a little while, but
at least a month.
It was at least a month before we had done this filming. And I thought I'd picked up all the peanuts that we took there. And Lola found a peanut that we left behind and alerted to it. Well, she had the dog, and I was somewhere else. I was in another room, and she called, Andy, she's alerting. And I go, why? She shouldn't be alerting. I mean, there's not this room is clean. And sure enough, I got on my hands and knees and found a peanut that had fallen out of our training, and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But she did her job, though.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that we're talking about, the importance of having this dog. So again, I want to assure you that she's done great things. She does great things, but we have this little bit of a hiccup. And so back to you now. Sorry. I mean, do you understand where I was coming from as far as the dog?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think, like, even watching other dogs that, like, were bred for it and that are made, like, Belgian Malinois and such, that, like, are made to be working dogs, I think it definitely makes me think, like, oh, like, it would be nice to, like, have like, I think the road to take would definitely be to have a dog picked by you guys, by Falco Canine Academy, just because I think that having Lola do something that she was not exactly meant to do was hard, and it was, I mean, I think it was meant to be. I honestly, like, I wouldn't go back and change it because I do love Lola and I'm very proud of her, but I think for anyone else it would probably be best to have a dog picked, just because it is very important. It is your life at risk, and although Lola does her job, I can't promise that, and I'm sure you can't, that every dog that you just randomly pick that's not meant for it to train is gonna sniff peanuts, because I mean, I didn't know anything about dog training or like the dog world, and obviously you have 30 years of experience, so I'm still learning. Like, it's definitely a long road that we took, but I'm definitely glad that we did, because just having even that 50 to 60% more chance of me knowing what I'm around is so helpful, because before I was just kind of constantly living in fear, because you don't know what's around you. You don't know you
can't see a smear. Like the smear that I put on that she found that one day, you can't see it. It's absolutely invisible.
There's been times when we're out in public, and I'll be the first to admit, you let your guard down every now and then, and you forget that you're supposed to be looking and checking everything. And Lola will perk up and push her out of the way now. And it's not all the time. It's just times where it's really necessary. And we have to pay attention to her. That's the other thing. It's like having a furry toddler that knows what she's doing.
Yeah. Well, with all that said that I said earlier, I want to thank you guys for trusting, me and our company with this project. And
Done
again,
an amazing job.
I wouldn't take anything back either. Yeah. I have no regrets in doing it, because it taught me to be a better trainer, and Brody, who also had a large hand in training this dog, and Kim and Kendall, also it's taught him a great deal about being a trainer, and we got to go back and forth and say what do we need to change, what do we need to do differently with this dog, and come up with some new tools and techniques, which is always good.
Yes.
And so we're just telling you folks there's a some aspect of when you go to get somebody to help you with this issue, to find a detection dog, that these are the things you got to consider. Let the professionals choose a dog for you. That if I'm choosing a dog to guard an airport or to guard Disneyland, like we have done in the past, that I'm going to find a dog that's specifically bred and has the genetics to do the job. It makes it a heck of a lot easier. We don't have to go through extra months of work to help you guys get to the place where your dog is really, really effective. And so it'll speed it up. You'll be able to do things that necessarily Lola really can't do. One of the things we do with our detection dogs is send the dog in a room off leash and have the dog search and then report to us what it finds. And we can see it in some of our other videos. I'm not pulling anybody's chain. There's just a few other things that I think would be a lot easier if we had that other process. Again, no regrets. I think it worked out really well.
I think that's something else, and not sorry to interrupt you, but I think when you look for a trainer, I think it's really important to find someone who's worked with police canines. A lot of people won't understand why they say that, but that's what I wanted with Lola. I wanted her like a narcotic dog or a bomb dog. I didn't want her working all the time. I wanted her to be told when to work. That was kind of important, because it would be a little bit annoying when I'm taking her into a situation, or you're going into a situation where there's something, and her to keep telling you over and over. That would be bothersome, correct?
Yeah, plus I like how, I'm not sure it's this way with every police dog, but I like how they are working dogs when they're on the job, and then at the end of the day they can come home to where they belong and just be a normal dog. Because I assure you, when Lola's vest is off, she's wild. She's a completely different dog.
When the vest comes off the wall and she knows she has to put it on, she bolts.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to go to work today.
I don't want to be good.
Yeah.
That's what she's telling you.
This is true, yes. This is very true.
Yeah.
That's just one of the many quirks about Lola.
So guys, we hope you like this particular episode, and those of you that are coming to us again just from watching the show on National Geographic, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to call us at our office, 714-990-9010. And you're obviously seeing this video because you're on our website or something connected to us, our Facebook. Go ahead and sign in off to your right on screen and put in your name and email address, and you'll get into our system, and everything's good, and we'll keep in communication. But give us a call if you have any concern. That doesn't have to be peanuts. We had a lady call us about corn dog. If you're watching, it was really interesting because the lady had corn allergies, which we don't mean to laugh that she has corn allergies.
She does too. So.
But we started calling it a corn dog. So
I know. I mistakenly said that. Well, actually, today is the first day of Food Allergy Awareness Week as we film this.
Yes.
And every 3 minutes, someone in the United States goes to the emergency room in an anaphylactic response, in a reaction. And it is now, we have
1 in 13 children.
1 in 13 kids, yeah, that's right. And, when you've seen your kid blue and not breathing and you're praying to God that they make it, you understand that you have no control over what they touch and what they come in contact with. And not everybody is airborne in contact. That's a handful of these kids. But that's why I think these dogs are so important for those type of kids. If they're just allergic, you can train your child not to stick stuff in their mouth.
Yeah.
You can't train them what to touch and how to breathe and not to breathe in certain situations. They have to breathe. It's just a minor detail.
Yeah.
But with the start of Food Allergy Awareness Week, I think that this is really important for people to understand why we do this and why you do this, because I think that this is a service that could really, really help the food allergy community.
Great.
I'm also FACTS, Food Allergy Anaphylaxis Connection Team's National Teen Ambassador. So if you want any information on food allergies or food allergy awareness, just go to foodallergyawareness.org and you can find information on food allergies and me and all kinds of stuff that might help you know more about the disease and anaphylaxis and just kind of educate yourself, because it really could save a life, I assure you.
Awesome. Anything else I forgot?
I don't think so.
No? Well, you guys have been great. You guys have turned out to be really good friends too.
Yes,
and
definitely.
really appreciate the time that we spend together. And
it's been fun.
Meeting your other family, your cousin, and
everybody. Yeah,
it's been great. So I don't get to do that with all my customers, but it's been fantastic. So again, if you have any questions, any concerns, give us a call. We'll help you out to select the right dog for the job.
Yes.
And we'll get you all set up. All right. We'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.
Bye.